All right, so welcome back to the A to Z challenge. We are all the way up to T for timing. In publishing, as in most of life, timing really is everything. It turns out that things that are really cool and neat now are going to be terrible later. If you don't believe me, think about what it would have been like to have had, a beautiful vampire trilogy that you were selling in about 2007, 2008. Yay! If you were trying to sell the same trilogy now, boo! Because the saturation in the market is pretty impressive. The drive for that sort of fiction isn't very high. It's the same with dystopians. If you were selling a dystopian novel in 2010, wow, talk about being on the right end of a trend wave, right? So timing in publishing is sort of everything because if you're there at the right time and the right person sees it and it gets the right editor and a lot of things go really well, you could have a really big deal on your hands. Like, wow, amazing. And some books really do well based on the timing that they're released. For some reason, they tap into some sort of zeitgeist in our population, and people are very touched by it. They're taken aback by it. It makes a big impression. So, timing is really important. And then there are some books that it just doesn't matter like what the timing on it is. The book is going to do whatever it's going to do, regardless of anything that anyone else does. So timing is super important, but also not important at all. And it gets even more frustrating when it gets down to agents. Like, what if you query an agent and last week she signed a book that's just like yours? Talk about terrible timing. And that's actually a really common problem in publishing in general is that someone else already kind of beat you to the punch, which leads to a really big problem. I see this a lot in writers where they're frantically trying to get their publishing out, their work out into the world. They're trying to get something published because it's not going to be any hot thing soon, or someone else is about to do the thing that it is that they do. Wow. I see a lot of anxiety about this, and the first most important thing I can say is if you're doing writing correctly, and you should be, there's nothing else like yours out there. Not to say that there isn't a story like yours, not to say that there isn't a voice like yours, but if you're doing it correctly, if you're really writing from that place, you know, in your heart, no one is telling the story the way that you are. And that's the important part about it. So you don't have to rush. Get it right. Do it right the first time. Yes, it might take longer, but sometimes taking longer is better. Sometimes taking longer gets you into the right spot. Which brings me to another point. If you're frantically trying to catch a wave, you already haven't caught it. It's already past you. If you're trying to catch something that's trending now, those books were written 3 years ago. They were sold 2 years ago. They were being edited while you were thinking about a different kind of book. If you're chasing a trend, you're never going to catch it. Not ever. If you have been chasing trends, and those books are the books that you desperately want to write, you've got a little bit of a wait because that's one of the things. The other side of this is books and trends come in waves. So, we've seen dystopian come, it came in a big wave, and now it's faded away. There aren't very many dystopic anythings right now. Um, but in about 10 years, maybe as few as 5 or 7, dystopian will come back. It'll be something that you can sell again. Dystopian, by the way, has always been a thing that you can sell. When I was a kid, I read lots of dystopian novels. It's sort of a staple of the sci-fi genre. Um, so you don't have to worry about that part of it. Those books will come back into popularity. Or, you can go with a small publisher who might still be putting those out because there is a large group of people who like to consume those kinds of novels. They like to read those kinds of novels. And so somebody is looking for them, just not the people that you were hoping were looking for them because the general population isn't looking for them. But the diehard dystopian fans are still diehard dystopian fans and they'll read it. So those fans have found, the niche markets that are still producing those novels. So, timing, it's a big deal. Sometimes you have to wait for the timing. Sometimes you have to rush for the timing. Try not to be on the side where you're rushing for the timing because it never works out well. You always want to have your time. Take your time. Do it right. Do it right the first time. And sometimes timing is just luck. That's all there is to that.